Structural organization in animals. Part 1. Tissue with free surface, epithelial tissue. Tissue with free surface, epithelial tissue. Most abundant and widely distributed in the body. Most abundant and widely distributed in the body. Connective tissue. Long cylindrical fiber arranged in parallel arrays, muscle tissue. Exerts the greatest control over body responsiveness, neural tissue. Exerts the greatest control over body responsiveness, neural tissue. Faces body fluids, epithelial tissue. Faces body fluid, epithelial tissue. Units of neural system, neurons. Unit of neural system, neuron. Fibers of muscle tissue composed of numerous fine fibril. Fibers of muscle tissue composed of numerous fine fibril. Cartilage, bone, adipose and blood. Specialized connective tissue. Cartilage, bone, adipose and blood. Specialized connective tissue. Three types of connective tissue: loose, dense, specialized. Three types of connective tissue: loose connective tissue, dense connective tissue, and specialized connective tissue. Excitable cells of neural system, neuron. Excitable cells of neural system, neuron. Faces outside the environment, epithelial tissue. Faces outside the environment, epithelial tissue. Special function, linking and supporting other tissues, organs, connective tissue. Special function, linking and supporting other tissues or organs, connective tissue. Provide covering or lining some parts of the body, epithelial tissue. Provide covering or lining some parts of the body, epithelial tissue. Main tissue provides structural frame to body, bone. Main tissue provide structural frame to the body, bone. Cells are compactly packed, epithelial tissue. Cells are compactly packed, epithelial tissue. Range from soft to specialized types, connective tissue. Range from soft to specialized types, connective tissue. Little intercellular matrix, epithelial tissue. Little intercellular matrix, epithelial tissue. All connective tissues except blood cells secrete fibers. All connective tissue cells except blood secrete fibers. Limited role in secretion and absorption, compound epithelium. Limited role in secretion and absorption, compound epithelium. Composed of single layer of cells, simple epithelium. Composed of single layer of cells, simple epithelium. Provide both structural and functional links between its individual cells. Special junctions. Provide both structural and functional links between its individual cells. Special junction. Move particles in a specific direction. Ciliated epithelium. Move particles in a specific direction. Ciliated epithelium. Cells secrete fiber. Fibroblast cells. Cells secrete fiber. Fibroblast cells. More than one layer of cells. Multicellular. More than one layer of cell. Multicellular. Consisting of isolated glandular cells, unicellular, consisting of isolated glandular cells, unicellular, help to stop substances from leaking across a tissue, tight junction, help to stop substances from leaking across a tissue, tight junction, secreted directly into the fluid bathing the gland, endocrine gland, secreted directly into the fluid bathing the gland, endocrine gland. Functions as lining of body cavities, ducts and tubes, simple epithelium. Functions as lining of body cavities, ducts and tubes, simple epithelium. Products are released through ducts or tubes, exocrine gland. Products are released through ducts or tubes, exocrine gland. Perform cementing to keep neighboring cells together, adhering junction. Perform cementing to keep neighboring cells together, adhering junction. Single thin layer of flattened cells, simple squamous cells. Single thin layer of flattened cells, simple squamous cells. Facilitate the cells to communicate each other, gap junction. Facilitate the cells to communicate each other, gap junction. Consisting of clusters of cells, multicellular. Consisting of clusters of cells, multicellular. Main function is to provide chemical and mechanical stresses. Compound epithelium. Main function is to provide chemical and mechanical stresses. Compound epithelium. Fiber, strength, collagen. Fibers, it gives strength, collagen. Mainly present in the surface of hollow organ, ciliated epithelium. Mainly present in the surface of hollow organ, ciliated epithelium. Glands do not have ducts, endocrine glands. Glands do not have ducts, endocrine gland. Protective function, compound epithelium. Protective function, compound epithelium. Fibers, flexibility, elasticity, elastin. Fibers, flexibility, elasticity, elastin. Cells specialized for secretion, cuboidal or columnar. Cells specialized for secretion, cuboidal or columnar. Cells with irregular boundaries, simple squamous. Cells with irregular boundaries, simple squamous. 2 or more cell layers, multicellular. 2 or more cell layers, multicellular. Modified polysaccharide between and fibers. Modified polysaccharide between and the fibers. Ground substance, matrix. Then epithelium for secretion, glandular epithelium. Epithelium for secretion, glandular epithelium. Cells, fibers loosely arranged in a semi-fluid ground substance. Loose connective tissue. Cells, fiber loosely arranged in a semi-fluid ground substance. Loose connective tissue. Attach skeletal muscles to bone, tendon. Attach skeletal muscle to bone, tendon. Fibroblast and many collagen fibers oriented differently. Dense irregular connective tissue. Fibroblast and many collagen fibers oriented differently. Dense irregular connective tissue. Serves as a support framework for epithelium. Areolar connective tissue. Serves as a support framework for epithelium. Areolar connective tissue. Attach bone to bone ligament. Attach bone to bone ligament. Protect and support neurons, neuroglial cells. Protect and support neurons, neuroglial cells. Fibroblast compactly packed, dense connective tissue. Fibers and fibroblasts compactly packed, dense connective tissue. Dense connective tissue beneath the skin. Dense connective tissue beneath the skin, dense irregular tissue. Fibroblast, macrophages, mast cells. Areolar connective tissue. Fibroblasts, macrophages, mast cells are present in areolar connective tissue. Tendon, ligament, dense regular connective tissue. Tendon and ligament, dense regular connective tissue. Solid, pliable intercellular matrix resist compression. Solid, pliable intercellular matrix resist compression. Cartilage. Solid, pliable intercellular matrix resist compression. Cartilage. Orientation of fibers in a regular pattern. Dense regular connective tissue. Orientation of fibers in a regular pattern. Dense regular connective tissue. 3 types of muscle. Skeletal, smooth, cardiac. 3 types of muscle. Skeletal, smooth, cardiac. Chondrocyte, lacunae, cartilage. Chondrocyte, lacunae, cartilage. Osteocytes, lacunae, bone. Osteocytes, lacunae, bone. Empty spaces, lacunae contain chondrocyte, cartilage. Empty spaces, lacunae contain osteocyte, bone. Endoskeleton of vertebrate embryo, cartilage. Endoskeleton of vertebrate embryo, cartilage. Non-pliable ground substance, bone. Non-pliable ground substance, bone. Orientation of fibers in irregular pattern, dense irregular connective tissue. Orientation of fibers in irregular pattern, dense irregular connective tissue. Suitably stimulated, electrical disturbance generated, neuron. Suitably stimulated, electrical disturbance generated, neuron. Embryonic cartilage is replaced by bone. Embryonic cartilage is replaced by bone. Collagen fibers as main parallel bundles. Collagen fibers as mainly as parallel bundles. Collagen fibers mainly as parallel bundles. Dense, regular. Support and protect soft tissues and organs. Bone. Support and protect soft tissues and organ. Bone. Attached to skeletal muscle. Attached to skeletal muscle. Bone. Contract, shorten and relax, lengthen muscle fiber. Contract, shorten and relax, lengthen muscle fiber. Closely attached to skeletal bone, skeletal muscle. Closely attached to skeletal bone, skeletal muscle. Site of production of blood cells, bone marrow. Site of production of blood cell, bone marrow. Muscle fiber taper at both ends, smooth muscle. Muscle fiber taper at both ends, smooth muscle. Contractile tissue, heart. Cardiac muscle. Contractile tissue, heart. Cardiac muscle. Communication junctions, muscle cells, cardiac muscle. Communication junction, muscle cells, cardiac muscle. Fluid connective tissue, blood and lymph. Fluid connective tissue, blood and lymph. A sheath of tough connective tissue encloses several bundles of muscle fiber, skeletal muscle. A sheath of tough connective tissue encloses several bundles of muscle fiber, skeletal muscle. Involuntary muscle, smooth and cardiac. Involuntary muscle, smooth muscle and cardiac muscle. Signal of contraction, one cell to the another cell. Cardiac muscle with the help of intercalated disc. Signal of contraction, one cell to another cell, cardiac muscle, intercalated disc. RBC, WBC, platelets, blood. RBC, WBC and platelets, blood. Fusiform muscle, smooth muscle. Fusiform muscle, smooth muscle. Striated muscle, skeletal and cardiac. Striated muscle, skeletal and cardiac. One cell contract, neighboring cell. One cell contract, neighboring cell stimulated for contraction. Cardiac muscle. One cell contract, neighboring cell stimulated for contraction. Cardiac muscle. Cell junctions hold them together. Smooth muscle. Cell junction hold them together. Smooth muscle. Cell junction fuse the membranes of muscle cell. Cardiac muscle. Cell junction fuse the membranes of muscle cell. Cardiac muscle. Cell junction makes the muscle cells stick together. Cardiac muscle. Cell junctions makes the muscle cells stick together. Cardiac muscle. Bundled together in a connective tissue sheath. Smooth muscle. Bundled together in a connective tissue sheath. Smooth muscle. Three types of cell junctions. Tight junction, adhering junction, gap junction. Three types of cell junction. Tight junction, adhering junction, gap junction. Single layer of cube-like cell, simple cuboidal epithelium. Single layer of cube-like cell, simple cuboidal epithelium. Rapid transfer of some small molecule, sometime big molecule, gap junction. Rapid transfer of small molecule, sometime big molecule, gap junction. Epithelial cells which bear cilia, cuboidal or columnar. Epithelial cell which bear cilia, cuboidal or columnar. Dry surface of skin, compound epithelium. Dry surface of skin, compound epithelium. Forms a diffusion boundary, simple squamous. Forms a diffusion boundary, simple squamous. Facilitate cells to communicate each other, gap junction. Facilitate cells to communicate each other, gap junction. Main function, secretion and absorption. Simple cuboidal epithelium. Main function, secretion and absorption. Simple cuboidal epithelium. Help to stop substances from leaking across a tissue. Tight junction. Help to stop substances from leaking across a tissue. The tight junction. Hormones, endocrine glands. Help in secretion and absorption. Simple columnar. Help in secretion and absorption. Simple columnar. Single layer of tall and slender cell. Simple columnar. Single layer of tall and slender cell, simple columnar. play active role in all movement, muscle. Goblet cells of alimentary canal, unicellular. Lining of pharynx, compound epithelium. Goblet cells of alimentary canal, unicellular. Lining of pharynx, compound epithelium. Nuclei located at base, simple columnar. Nuclei located at base, simple columnar. Inner lining of pancreatic and ducts. Inner lining of pancreatic ducts, compound epithelium. Inner lining of pancreatic duct, compound epithelium. Free surface has microvilli, simple columnar. Free surface has microvilli, simple columnar. Moist surface of buccal cavity, moist surface of buccal cavity, compound epithelium. Moist surface of buccal cavity, compound epithelium. Perform cementing to keep neighboring cells together at a herring junctions. Perform cementing to keep neighboring cells together at a herring junctions. Bronchioles and fallopian tube, ciliated epithelium. Bronchioles and fallopian tube, ciliated epithelium. Biceps, skeletal muscle. Biceps, skeletal muscle. Mucus, saliva, earwax, oil, milk, digestive enzyme, exocrine gland. Inner lining of ducts of salivary gland, compound epithelium. Inner lining of ducts of salivary gland, compound epithelium. Connects the cytoplasm of adjoining cells, gap junction. Connect the cytoplasm of adjoining cell, gap junction. Striated muscles bundled together in parallel fashion. Skeletal muscle. Striated muscles bundled together in parallel fashion. Skeletal muscle. Rapid transfer of ions, gap junction. Rapid transfer of ions, gap junction. Walls of blood vessel, simple squamous. Walls of blood vessel, simple squamous. Ducts of gland, simple cuboidal. Ducts of gland, simple cuboidal. Present beneath the skin, areolar tissue. Present beneath the skin, areolar tissue. Microvilli, PCT, proximal convoluted tubule contain microvilli. Simple cuboidal epithelium. PCT, proximal convoluted tubule contain microvilli. Simple cuboidal epithelium. Located mainly beneath the skin, adipose tissue. Located mainly beneath the skin, adipose tissue. Tip of nose, cartilage. Tip of nose, cartilage. Air sacs of lungs, simple squamous. Air sacs of lungs, simple squamous. Outer ear joints, cartilage. Outer ear joints, cartilage. Serve weight bearing function. Limb bones of legs. Serve weight bearing function. Limb bones of legs. Tubular part of nephron, simple cuboidal epithelium. Tubular part of nephron, simple cuboidal epithelium. Main circulating fluid, blood. Main circulating fluid, blood. Between adjacent bones of vertebral column, limbs, hands, cartilage. Between adjacent bones of vertebral column, limbs, hands, cartilage. Proximal convoluted tubule of nephron, simple cuboidal. Proximal convoluted tubule of nephron, simple cuboidal with brush border. Wall of internal organs, blood vessel, stomach, intestine, smooth muscle. Wall of internal organ, blood vessel, stomach, intestine contain smooth muscles. Helps in transport various substances, blood. Found in the lining of stomach and intestine, simple columnar. Found in the lining of stomach and intestine, simple columnar. Intercalated disc, cardiac muscle. Intercalated disc, cardiac muscle. Cells of this tissue specialized to store fat, adipose tissue. Cells of this tissue specialized to store fat, adipose tissue. Excess nutrients which are not used are stored and converted as fats, adipose tissue. Excess nutrients which are not used are stored and converted as fats, adipose tissue. Let's take a look at examples again. Found in the lining of stomach and intestine, simple columnar. Intercalated disc, cardiac muscle. Wall of internal organs, blood vessels, stomach, intestine, smooth muscle. Proximal convoluted tubule of nephron, simple cuboidal, between adjacent bones of vertebral column, limbs, hands, cartilage, main circulating fluid, blood, tubular part of nephron, simple cuboidal, weight bearing function, limb bones of legs, outer ear joints, cartilage, air sacs of lung, simple squamous epithelium, tip of nose, cartilage, located mainly beneath the skin, adipose tissue, microvilli, PCT, simple cuboidal epithelium, brush border, present beneath the skin, areolar tissue, ducts of gland, simple cuboidal, walls of blood vessel, simple squamous, rapid transfer of ion, gap junction, gap junction. So focus on examples more. We can have match the followings in NEET. Thank you.